doesn't mean so much in the end. I've been trying to hide 'cause I'm scared. Using witches, 'cause it doesn't mean so much in the end. Boy, can you help me?
How's it going, everyone? It's Adam here from TCC, and today I've got another brand new product walk around. This is obviously our brand new bull bar for the GU Patrol. This is the one for Series 1 through to 3. Series 4 will be coming very soon. Basically the exact same, just to suit Series 4. In this video, we're just gonna go over this entire product, all its ins and outs, just everything about it, so you know exactly what you're gonna buy if you are gonna buy it. First things first, the most important thing with this bull bar is that it's 100% Australian made, built right here in Victoria. If you didn't know anything about us, we actually build some really awesome rear bars. We've been building them for, I don't know, many years, and we're actually, on this car itself, we've got our tow bar rear bar for this thing. That's a really awesome product. It's super high clearance, it's super strong. So if you are interested, you can go check that out. But this video is all about the bull bar. All right, so let's touch on the design of this thing. The whole goal with our bull bars is to have them super tucked up and as far tucked in as possible. We just wanted to make a really timeless design that works on basically every car, but just looks really modern and really awesome. The GUs themselves actually have a very weird chassis. So you may be noticing this section here and how it sort of juts out. That's actually the chassis of these things. And they sort of come out to like a point as well. They're really weird. And they sit super far out. So you actually can't get any further tucked in without cutting the chassis rail. I think that we've sort of gotten around this weird design from Nissan quite well. I mean, what do you guys think? Put it in the comments down below, but I think this is just a really awesome looking bar. I don't know how else to describe it to you. Something we put a heap of work into when designing our bull bars is this section here. It's actually one of the hardest sections to get right on a bull bar. We're very happy where we got to with this one. It follows the headlight. You may have seen a lot of others out there, they're very ill-fitting. I don't know, I'm not sure why, but this one just works with the front. It's tucked in. What we always see with bull bars is the front of a car looks like a face, and obviously the headlights are the eyes. So the hoop is sort of like your eyebrows. So if it's too high, it looks surprised. If it's too low, it looks like it's trying to look up underneath. So you need to get it just right. So it's got a little bit of an aggressive appearance. We don't want to go too crazy because it's just not the style that we're after, but it does have a little bit of the angry eye sort of look, but nothing too wild, but it still looks like it means business. So that whole section here is very important when it comes to the looks and it just fitting right on the car. All right, whilst we were talking about the hoop, let's talk about the materials that this is made out of. So this is a very strong bull bar. If you don't know anything about our rear bars, we build them out of full 5mm steel and 10mm mounting plates. And that's the exact same formula that we follow with the bull bars, because we just find it to be a much stronger way of building bar work, and also allows for designs that are a lot sleeker and a lot slimmer because it's so much stronger. So this whole face and everything is 5mm, the mounting plates and the eyelets, they're 10mm. And then we've got our hoop here. Now this is a super important piece. This is a one-piece hoop, so it's fully CNC folded from one bit of tube. And this is what is commonly referred to as fat tube. This is 60.3mm tube. But then what's most important is the wall is 3.9mm thick. That's a really thick wall tube, which makes it really strong. And I just know every time you go four-wheel drive and things like that, you hit it on the side here. And that is sort of a exposed section of the bull bar, so it needs to be strong. So just because someone says it's fat tube doesn't mean that that tube is strong. So make sure that the wall is actually a thick wall, which this is. And then the one piece design, I mean, one, it looks really awesome, but two, it makes it even stronger because now there's no joints. So to bend this part here, you have to bend the whole bar. So if you bent this all the way up, you've got some other problems, that's for sure. Whilst we're up here, I'll talk about the aerial mounts. So we've got these little folded tabs up here that are welded on all the way around. The design just allows for support on it so that when you load them up, it's pushing down on the bar rather than just an overhang. And also, again, that being 5mm steel, it's not as flimsy as something like 3mm, so it's not going to move around. Basically, you don't want any movement when it comes to these bull bars. Each tab has 2 spots for an aerial, so technically there's 4 aerial mounts. As you can see right below it, these are the, I believe, Road Vision Stealths. They're a 9-inch spotty, so they're quite a big spotty. There's heaps of room from top to bottom, and there's room back to front. A lot of people seem to worry about the room back to front because it is quite a tucked up bar, but your spotties actually always just naturally, the way they're designed with the mounts, they sort of sit forward, and they're a lot slimmer now these days, so you can actually do that. Then in the top here, you've got a really big access hole for your winch and things like that. It's very easy to get in there, turn your free spool on and off. Basically, we made that access hole as big as possible. We just think it's important to be able to get to your free spool because or else, it's pointless having free spool. That sort of brings us into the winch cradle area. Arguably, again, apart from the hoop, probably the most important bit of the bull bar, because one, it's where it mounts, and two, it is sort of probably the reason why you're buying a bull bar, is to be able to run a winch. So this is a full one-piece design. There's no bolt-on cradle or anything weird like that. And the location of the winch is actually very important. And it just comes down to very simple physics, I suppose. Your mounting points are on your rails, which are here. If you put your winch up here and you pull in that way, it wants to pull like that. And I don't know about you, that's just not a good thing to be doing with your chassis. So you need to be pulling from the chassis so it's pulling straight out. That's the strongest, most reliable way of doing things. And that's what we've done here. The winches bolt straight down, and obviously the fair lead's just bolted onto the front there. He's yet to actually wire up his winch properly. That's why there's no rope hanging out of this. But that in there, I believe, is just the King's winch, but there's plenty of room to run any other winch. There's bulk room going back to the radiator support, and there's extra room on the sides. So it's very easy to fit a winch in this thing. Just because the GUs, they're naturally very wide, so there's plenty of room to fit a winch. This is obviously a low mount bar. These do not suit a high mount. You could probably make it if you did a lot of cutting, a lot of modification, but that would mean you have no warranty or anything like that. All up here, down the bottom, you'd cut the absolute falcon out of this. If you do that, send us a photo, because I'd be very keen to see it, because it'd look cool, but it'd be a lot of work. Then on the corner here, a lot of people don't realize if you have a hoop on your bar, no matter where this hoop sits, if even it's sat over here or way out here or super high, it doesn't matter. You need an indicator in the face of the bull bar, because technically from any kind of viewpoint, you're going to be blocking the factory indicator. So this is an ADR approved indicator, so there's no worries there. We went for the clear style rather than the orange, just because it looks better. And then in here, we've got our little accessory light. They're just some road vision lights that we're running in there. They're really bright, actually very good lights. Then let's move on to powder coat. This one is in our standard color, which is satin black. I really like the satin black. Honestly, it just works with every single car you put it on. It looks clean, it looks shiny and new. And it will stay that way because our powder coat is very good. We do everything in-house, as I said at the start of the video, and our powder coating's come a very long way. This is a super durable finish. We use the best brand possible. There's a lot of science sort of stuff that goes into powder coating. You don't just slap it on. So there is definitely a difference between good powder coat and bad powder coat. This is a very durable finish. They get zinc powder primed first, then they get the black powder coat on top of that. So honestly, just one of the most durable finishes you're gonna get on a bull bar. Then one thing which some patrol owners may find necessary, others may not, this is fully airbag compliant. So you're not gonna have any issues with your insurance or anything there. So for full details on this bar, head to the website. It's priced on par with everything else on the market. And honestly, if you price it out from other places, this is probably a slightly cheaper option, especially considering that this is Australian manufacturing and built out of proper materials. I did forget to mention the weight, but the weight of this thing is just a touch over 60 kilos, so it's on par with everything else. It's really not that heavy for a full steel bull bar that's actually gonna last. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions, leave them down in the comments below. If you want to order one, you can order on the website or contact the team. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.